Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron has set out the coalition government's ambition for a trendy part of London's East End to be transformed into a world-leading technology centre to rival Silicon Valley. Mr. Cameron wants to invest in the area spanning from Old Street in Shoreditch down to Olympic Park, the new sports complex currently under construction for the 2012 Games in Stratford. Painfully fashionable Shoreditch is strategically located next to London's financial centre and is already buzzing with many of the UK's top tech companies. I went along with Parmi Olsen, Forbes London Bureau Chief, and mobile analyst Julian Forgeot to explore the area and meet with some of the Shoreditch startups. For Benjamin James, leaving Soho in central London and its outrageous rents and moving to Shoreditch made financial sense. His office space, an abandoned tube carriage on top of a building.
It was an ideal situation for a startup, put down a minimal amount of money. It's a great space, there's people all around to collaborate with as well. I'll go next door to the tube next door and say, how you doing? And a project could come out of that.
But working on a train is not for everyone, especially if you take the tube to commute to work in a tube carriage. But there is huge demand with a waiting list from startups and artists all wanting to take advantage of the low rent and creative atmosphere. Elsewhere, a pop-up exhibition called Digital Archaeology hopes to preserve the web's 15-year history from hard drives and redundant servers of yesteryear. For authenticity's sake, the time capsule of websites is maintained on the same hardware and operating systems as they were first developed on. Jim Bolton and John King decided the exhibition should be held in Shoreditch and not in the West End.
The clustering is always important, and this area, Shoreditch and Hoxton, are full of clusters of talents which you can draw on, and it's a sort of industries where you're looking for freelancers who can do something very, very specific for a couple of days, and then you can't afford to employ them for long periods of time, but you need to know that they're out there. So this is a great place to be.
Augmented reality, or AR for short, is a very popular technology right now, with lots of companies leaping at the chance to get their brands and products into consumer consciousness. Holition, based in Shoreditch, works with some of the world's top luxury brands such as Tissot and Ray-Ban.
A lot of these things, augmented reality, David Cameron's speech, he believes that there's an element or an area of London where the skills are so advanced and exciting and can take on the world that we can expand it and really do something with it. That's got to be an admirable statement. That's got to be, a powerful and compelling story. I think we all need to understand more of the route that's going to get us there.
One route the coalition government is taking is meeting with certain members of the tech community about how to help startups in the UK. Tech Hub is a community space located in an area nicknamed Silicon Roundabout in East London, where tech companies can work alongside other startups, entrepreneurs, and angel investors. Elizabeth Varley is Tech Hub's co-founder and CEO and is committed to creating a focal point for London's technology cluster.
We're very focused on how best the government can support small companies now to get them to the stage of the larger companies that they're talking about accommodating over at Olympic Park. So we met with the government's technology team and we're in with David Cameron talking about how it's going to be implemented, how they can perhaps help us and help others best support technology startups in the UK.
Calamita is a software startup out of Sardinia that's developing Calaboard, a video conferencing technology based on augmented reality that allows participants to draw diagrams by waving their fingers in the air in front of a webcam. Participants to the conference call can also operate on the same slide simultaneously. Francesco is one of Tech Hub's first members. He tells us why he left his home in sunny Italy to move to rainy London.
First of all, London is the best place in Europe for startups, technology startups. As soon as I got here, I was shocked by the energy there is around this place, this area, especially around the Old Street roundabout. Here things go much faster, and by simply meeting other people that are running into our same problems, you really increase the potential you can reach.
Alex Hoy is an angel investor and the CEO of digital marketing company Latitude. He's an American living in London since 1999.
Let's be realistic. 48% of venture investment is done in Silicon Valley. There is a benefit of it. There's a network effect. There's a hub. There are resources. There are people. There are investors. There's an infrastructure, and there's no reason to deny that. But I do think that London has the ability to be a very strong secondary, probably to Silicon Valley, but different. And I think that's the area that I really am enthused about.
Steve Kennedy is the director of NetTech and is an industry veteran. He doesn't believe you can take a culture like Silicon Valley and simply transfer it into the East End.
Silicon Valley has a set of constraints that are there because of the people and the companies, and you just can't recreate that situation. The whole point of the valley is that you've got VCs there, you've got startups there, you've got big companies like Google, but transposing that grew organically. It didn't grow by going, we're going to create a Silicon Valley. I mean, they tried that in the south of France with Sophia Antipolis, and it's a fantastic area to work, but it doesn't encourage innovation there.
Whilst Prime Minister David Cameron tries to replicate Silicon Valley in East London, 3 decades of innovation, culture and technology is impossible to duplicate, and not to mention the weather. But what London can do is attract, nurture and empower its current pool of talent. And as we've seen today, there's a large abundance of it. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Layla Mackey for Telecom TV in East London.
Telecom TV, where ICT connects.
Watching Telecom TV.